Tuesday. Second day of hot news for the week. So drop your jackets, take off your blankets, and get into your summer clothes because we're about to bring the fire to y'all. But quick plug before we get into the news today, we have a website called ufd.deals where we compile tech deals just like how we do tech news here on this show. So if you're looking for great deals across the interwebs on whatever piece of technology you're looking for, considering checking it out and supporting us, links will be in the video description. Enough of the shameless self-promotion, let's geese a gander at the news we have before us today, which I'm sure some of you will be relieved to hear that nothing we have today has anything to do with AMD or NVIDIA GPUs. Apparently, we're all rumored out on that for today, but I suppose let's start off with the bit of news that's most related to GPUs. Over 800 cryptocurrencies are now basically dead. In case you didn't have enough evidence that the majority of the crypto boom that took place earlier this year was a gigantic fad built upon fabrication, deceit, speculation, and haphazard money slinging, then look no further than the website Deadcoins. The site has a compendium of crypto projects gone awry, with many of them falling into the deceased column. They also have a scam list, of which fan favorite BitConnect falls into. And then we have the projects that were waylaid by hacks and those that were never meant to be taken seriously in the first place. Given just how robust the crypto Cambrian explosion was not even 6 months ago, the memories of long forgotten coins is a stark proverbial reminder of just exactly what a hype train is. You can board it quickly thinking that the train from the land of hype will be taking you to Gravy Town, but more often than not, it just derails suddenly and violently, spilling the contents of your financial remains over the scorched earth decimated by the burning of millions of unsold GPUs. Grim times if you put all your savings in, smug times if you stayed out and can say I told you so, and frustrating times for anyone who's been wanting to build a gaming PC. But I want to know, have you been hurt by any of these now deceased crypto operations? Did you invest in any of them and lose an unreasonable portion of your money? Or your friend did? I'd love to actually hear your crypto horror stories down below in the comments. And then in other news that could also be considered a waste of your hard-earned money, Comcast mobile segment, Xfinity Mobile, seems to be acting like a bunch of turdy burglars and throttling all user video content down to 480p, and the hotspot speeds get neutered to a uselessly low 600 kilobits per second. But not only that, they've confirmed that if you want the privilege of using that data that you're paying for in the way that you want, you can pay extra later this year to upgrade to a 720p video package. They're quoting the reasons as helping you conserve data and helping you save money, which is a giant load of horseradish known as we oversold our bandwidth and now we need to throttle you in order to retain viability on our network. But don't worry, you'll forget about this type of artificial restriction soon and you'll come to expect it on whatever network you're on. And don't forget, we'd love to also apply this to your cable and home internet packages too. It's a common excuse by internet providers that oversell their network, and then instead of them learning how to develop foresight and actually spacing things out correctly and selling the right amount of data, they've just decided that they get to determine how you use the data that you've already paid them for. I get that it's a tough balance since usually there needn't be any restriction on how much data you use, but rather how fast you use it. There's only so much space in the internet tubes.
I just the other day got internet was sent by my staff at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday. I got it yesterday. The internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes.
But we're so used to paying for the amount of data rather than the speed of it when it comes to mobile plans, so we get sold capped data packages to be used however we see fit. But now it appears Comcast doesn't think that's enough control for them, and they'll be limiting how you use the internet that you're paying them for. And if you want the privilege of using it how you were literally using it last week, then you need to pay extra. Straight garbage, not happy. I would be immediately switching off their network if I was with them. But what say you? Does this bother you as much? I realize that as I'm filming, Joker Productions actually released a video on this exact topic. Haven't watched it yet, but you can check it out right at that top right-hand corner. Let's replace my rage with its exact opposite, apathy. We have leaked images of Apple's upcoming USB Type-C 18-watt charger. Yay! Apple is normalizing standards that everybody else has already adopted. Yay! I'm so excited. Now it's time to move on to today's segment of, you weren't supposed to say see that! So, in terrifyingly terrifying news, apparently some Samsung phones, including the S9 and S9 Plus, are sending out your images to random contacts. Not only are the phones sending these out unprompted to unsuspected recipients, but they also aren't notifying the phone owner of the fact that the pictures have been sent out. Yes, that's right. Be horrified if you own one of these phones. You know which pictures you don't want your mother seeing. She would be appalled. She would be dismayed, aghast, petrified, angered, downright infuriated with you. She didn't raise you to be this way. How could you be possibly doing that? And with other people in your house? Don't you know that toilet paper goes over, not under, you disgusting pervert? But in all seriousness, it appears the phones are sending your entire camera roll to one of your contacts. Then the only way you would know that this has occurred is if they message you back about it. So hopefully it's nothing egregious. It appears that this just might be affecting phones that recently had RCS messaging updates for the devices. Until Samsung or your mobile carrier issues a fix, the best way to prevent this is to discontinue Samsung's messages permissions from accessing your files. And in other privacy concerning news, apparently there are third-party Gmail apps that let the makers of those apps and their employees read the entirety of your emails. So do you remember how Google mentioned that it would stop scanning your personal emails to better serve you ads because it was like evil and stuff? Well, apparently a few companies didn't get the memo and use your emails and the entirety of their contents as a training exercise to help develop their software. According to the Wall Street Journal, two specific companies, ReturnPath and Edison Software, gave their employees access to thousands of users' Gmail contents in order to help train their employees. The apps did ask for consent in order to do this, so the blame kind of rests solely on the user installing these apps. But the news brings to light that the access and usage was a bit more than a typical user would assume. But both companies have gone on record to say that they're extremely careful with the contents of your email, and Edison Software even said that they've stopped the practice and got rid of the emails altogether. But as is the case with many things that concern your private information being kept safe on the internet, it likely won't always be that way. So this, I guess, is roughly akin to a PSA. If you use either one of these services or any other Gmail app service, maybe check into the agreements that you check the boxes for. And if you're uncomfortable with letting companies read what you're sending them, just uncheck the box. And that wraps it up for today's segment of You weren't supposed to see that! No! Yesterday, we reported on how Tesla reached its goal of producing 5,000 Model 3s in a week. Well, there's more boonful news for the company coming out today. They've apparently reached an energy storage deal with the Californian-based Pacific Gas and Electric Company. The massive deal for the electric company is supposed to provide customers with 730 megawatt hours of electricity over 4 hours, potentially ramping it up to 6-hour duration for over 1.1 gigawatt hours. For comparison, the battery that Tesla installed in Australia last year on the bet that they could do it in 100 days was only 129 megawatt hours. So even though this is a gargantuan deal, I have faith that Papa Elon will be able to get the job done. Let's go Tesla, let's go! Let's go Tesla, let's go! But in the exact opposite sense of a company victory, HTC announced that it has plans to lay off 1,500 of its employees in the smartphone department of the company in Taiwan. 1,500 jobs is roughly 25% of the entire company's workforce, and the individuals will be laid off by the end of September. It's a bummer to hear this, but this apparently comes as part of the merger of their smartphone and VR departments in order to slim down the company. Sorry, people losing your jobs, it sucks. But in jobs that might become more available over the next few years though, it appears that web service companies such as Google, Facebook, Alibaba, Amazon, etc. are trying to develop their own in-house chipset solutions in order to remove their reliance on the struggling Intel. Google has already successfully developed the Tensor processing unit for machine learning, and it's tremendously faster than GPUs, and Microsoft is gearing up as they've begun hiring a bunch of research and development engineers from Qualcomm's server chip department. So it looks like that they're trying to move forward with plans to bring their own chipset so that they can do everything in-house and provide better web services. Unfortunately, given the spate of news that we've been reporting on lately, it appears that Intel is in for many bumpy waters in the coming months and years. But let's stay on the Intel train for just a second, as we have actual confirmation, yes, real confirmation, not rumor right now, of Intel's upcoming 9 series CPUs. We don't appear to have the listings of every chip that we're expecting will be released, but in a microcode update document that Team Blue sent out recently, they list the support of the Coffee Lake S processors of the i5 9400, 9500, 9600, and 9600K, as well as the i3 9100. So the 9 series is a confirmed reality, albeit a stupid reality that doesn't need to and shouldn't exist if they ever got on 10 nanometers, but Coffee Lake refresh is coming, my friends. We have no more details than that. No release date, no pricing, only BIOS level support for these yet to be announced chips. Then, in the worst news of the day, the part that I've been dreading bringing to you, it looks like RAM prices are going to be going up in Q3 of this year. So exactly a week ago, we brought you the news that server DRAM contract prices had begun to decline and were expected to do so for the rest of the year. I had hoped back then that this would mean that the normal desktop DRAM market would also have a price decrease, but in a report today from DRAM Exchange, they're saying that the average selling price of DRAM will be seeing a slight increase in the third quarter and likely to remain flat in Q4 of this year. We unfortunately have a terrible case of basic economics on our hands here, mixed with a little bit of suspected price fixing. So RAM supply has grown 3.2% from Q1 to Q2 and is expected to increase another roughly 5% in the third quarter. However, Q3 is typically peak DRAM season for companies because of the variety of smartphone launches that are taking place. Look at the iPhone, basically. So that results in a much larger demand than the increased supply can account for. So even though we're up several percentage points, the demand will outpace that. Also, not helping the matters is that the DRAM manufacturers are busy transferring to lower nanometer processes, just like a CPU company would, which hampers their ability to ramp up production effectively because they're trying to transition. So the unfortunate news is the news that I never wanted to give. If you're looking to buy RAM for your system or new PC build, now may be the best time to pick it up, unless you want to wait to see what happens in 2019. Sorry, friends. But that's going to wrap it up for all the news that I have for you guys today. Which was your favorite bit of hot news? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. If you enjoyed it, you like what we're doing here on this channel, please get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content, not just the hot news that we bring you. We actually do benchmarks and such elsewhere. Also, please, if you would be so kind, share this video with anybody who you would think that cares about tech news. It means a lot to us if our videos get out there, reach more people. Helps us out a lot. Don't forget to check out UFD Deals if you're looking for hot tech deals around the internet as well. Anyways, I'm Brett with the UFD Tech channel. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Hot News, and I'll see your smiling faces again in the next video. Cheers.